Okay, this is lesson 3, adding fractions, page 9. Number 1, they want us to go ahead and convert the improper fraction to a mixed fraction. You're going to divide 8 divided by 6. Remember, top number goes inside the house, so it's 8 divided by 6. 6 can go into 8 one time, so it's 1. Subtract, remainder 2. Now, the way you write that when you're doing a mixed fraction is 1 would be your whole number, 2 would be your numerator, and the denominator stays the same, so it's going to stay 6. And then they just want you to simplify. You're going to simplify by dividing the top and bottom by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1, and 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. Number 2, they want us to find the least common denominator for 3 and 5. The way you do that is you find your multiples of 3 and 5, and then you find which ones have the same number. So you have 3, 5, 6, 10, 9, 15, 12, 20, and then 15. As you can see, your least common denominator is going to be 15. And that's why they wrote the 15 down here. And then to find your equivalent fraction, you're going to figure out 3 times what gives you 15, which is 5. So then you multiply the top number by the same number. 2 times 5 gives you 10. Same thing over here. 5 times 3 gives you 15. 4 times 3 gives you 12. And that's how you find equivalent fractions. Okay, let's look at number 3. Number 3, the denominators are the same, so it makes it much easier. When your denominator is the same, you just keep the same denominator, and then add your numerators. 5 plus 3, or 3 plus 5 actually, gives me 8. Denominator stays the same, so it's going to be 6. And then you're going to do what we did earlier, which was divide. 8 divided by 6, which we got the answer earlier, was 1 and 2 over 6, which reduced to 1 and 1/3. Number 5 is not so easy because the denominators are all different. First thing you have to do is find your least common denominator. For 4, 5, and 10, your least common denominator would be 20. Okay? And then you want to find your equivalent fractions. So we would say 4 times what gives me 20, which is 5. So then we're going to multiply 1 times 5. Which is 5, of course. Then we're going to say 5 times what gives me 20, which is 4. So then we're going to multiply 2 times 4, which gives me 8. And then the last one is 10 times what gives me 20, 2. So then we're going to multiply 3 times 2, which gives me 6. All right, and then we just add those all together. 5 plus 8 plus 6. Remember, my denominator stays the same. All right, so what does that give me? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 19. So my numerator is 19, my denominator is 20. Okay, number 7 is pretty much the same thing. You want to find your common denominator. With 3, 2, and 5, your common denominator would be, let's see, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30? Yeah, it'd be 30. Okay, let's find our equivalent fractions. 3 times 10 gives me 30, so 2 times 10 gives me, 2 times 10 gives me 20. Then you have 2 times 15 gives me 30, so 1 times 15 gives me 15. And then you have 5 times 6 gives you 30, so 1 times 6 gives you 6. You're going to add up your numerators. So you have 20 plus 15 plus 6. Denominator stays the same. Let's see, 20 plus 15 plus 6. That's 11, 2, 3, 4. It's 41. 41 over, remember your denominator stays the same, so it's 41 over 30. And then to change an improper to a mix, you just divide. So 41 divided by 30 gives me 1. So 1 with the remainder of 11, so that's my numerator, and my denominator stays the same, so it's going to be 30. So your final answer is 1 and 11/30. Okay, page 11? Should be fairly easy because the denominators are the same for the most part. Let's look at number 9. When the denominators are the same, you just rewrite your denominator and add your numerators. So it's 5 plus 2, which gives me 7. For number 11, my denominators are the same, so my denominator stays 4. And then you have 3 plus 2, which gives you 5. Don't forget to change your improper to a mix by dividing. 4 divided by 5 is going to give me 1 and 1/4. So that's my final answer for number 11. Number 13, same thing. Denominator stays the same. 2, 4, 6. 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. Okay, number 15 is going to be a little bit harder because it has different denominators. I prefer having mine written vertically instead of horizontally so that I can find equivalent fractions easier. All right, so we got 3, 2, and 4. That means my common denominator would be, what, 8, 12? All 3 numbers can go into 12, so yeah, it'd be 12. Okay, 3 times 4 gives me 12, so 2 times 4 gives me 8. 2 times 6 gives me 12, so 1 times 6 gives me 6. And then 4 times 3 gives me 12, so 3 times 3 gives me 9. Okay, now I can add up my numerators. Should give me 23 over 12 as my answer. And then I just want to divide that. Oops, 23 over 12. And it looks like it's going to give me 1 and 11 over 12. So my final answer is going to be 1 and 11 over 12 for number 15. Okay, number 17, we have 5 over 6 and 9 over 10. My common denominator would be 30. Then we got, let's see, change it to color. Let's do purple. All right, so 6 times 5 gives me 30. So 5 times 5 is going to give me 25. 10 times 3 gives me 30, so 9 times 3 is going to give me 27. Add those two together, gives me 52 over 30. Of course, we're going to divide that to change it to a mixed number. All right, so 30 can go into 52 one time. Leaves me with 22, so my answer is 1 and 22 over 30. Okay, number 19 is a little bit different than what we've been doing. We've been going from improper to mixed. Now they want us to go the other way and go from mixed to improper. The way you do that, I call it the circle method, is you multiply 11 times 6, and then add that answer plus 9. Okay, so you have 11 times 6, which gives you 66. And then you're going to add 9 to that, which gives you 75. And that becomes your numerator. So your numerator is 75. And then your denominator is going to stay the same, so it's going to be 11. There you go. There it is as an improper fraction. Okay, number 21 says, Tisha is knitting a scarf. The first week she knitted a length of 1/4 yards. After 2 weeks, the scarf was 5/12 yards long. After 3 weeks, it was 7/12 yards long. If this pattern continues, what will be the length of the scarf after 5 weeks? Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and convert 1/4 with a denominator of 12. And then find its equivalent fraction. Okay, so that tells me the first week it was 3/12. The second week it was 5/12. The third week it was 7/12. As you can see, it's increasing by 2 every time. So that means the fourth week it would be 9/12. And then the fifth week, it would be 11/12. The question is asking for the fifth week, so my answer would be 11/12. All right, last one. Number 23 says it takes Karina 3 3/4 hours to travel to her grandmother's house. What is 3 3/4 written as an improper fraction? Okay, so don't forget the circle method. You multiply 3 times 4, which gives you 12. And then you add that top number. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15. That becomes your numerator. Your denominator stays the same. So as an improper fraction, it would be 15/4. Okay, now you can go do the rest of the problems that I did not do with you from pages 9 through 12. And then go to page 54. You're going to do the extra practice 1 through 12. And then if you finish that, you can do your VMath Live. If not, don't forget you're going to have to start doing your VMath Live at home or come for tutoring or in the library or wherever else you have internet access. Okay, you're done.